In honor of Women's History Month, we've been talking with female leaders in sports, politics, business, and entertainment. This morning, we're speaking with U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth. She is an Army veteran, a Democratic lawmaker from Illinois, and a mother of two. In 2018, Senator Duckworth shared a letter she wrote to her younger self for our series, Note to Self.
But that wonderful life will end so abruptly, it will feel like a death. And it'll put the rest of your plans for your family, for your career on life support.
The helicopter pilot lost both legs when her National Guard unit was shot down over Baghdad.
You will almost die, but you'll make it, just barely. Your survival won't have anything to do with your own abilities. You'll make it out alive completely because of the grit, sacrifice, and outright heroism of others. You haven't done anything to be worthy of their sacrifices. But these heroes will give you a second chance at life anyway. Your second life begins when you wake up a few days later in agony. Non-stop, unrelenting, seemingly endless agony. But you will reemerge.
This week, she is releasing her first book, Every Day is a Gift. Senator Duckworth, good morning. As we just heard, you almost died when your helicopter was shot down. You lost both of your legs, but you have said that if you could do it all over again, you still would. Why?
Oh, heck yeah. Well, two things. The first, of course, are my buddies, the men and women I got to serve with for all those years, my helicopter crew. There's just nothing like it. They're some of the most honorable, funny, brilliant people I've ever met. And that includes people I've met since I've been in the Senate. So just getting to serve in my unit again would be priceless. And plus, I also love to fly helicopters. So that would be great, too.
Senator, you grew up in Thailand. You are biracial. You face discrimination for being half white. You were on the brink you were almost below the poverty line, living in Hawaii as a teenager, picking up coins for money. You talk about this experience as almost a vaccine, preparing you for what was to come later. Why is that, and how did those experiences shape you?
You know, I didn't really think of it until I wrote the book. And then towards the end of the process of writing the book, I looked back and I realized, wow, all the things I described in the book, you know, growing up as a kid, following my dad around Southeast Asia, being afraid that my dad wouldn't come back. When he went back to the States for a year, feeling afraid of being abandoned, all the way through to, as you said, you know, real extreme poverty in Hawaii. I talk about selling flowers out of a bucket by the side of the road and, you know, and picking up coins off of the street. And looking back after I finished the book, I realized, wow, overcoming those were real hardships. For me, it was just my life. But overcoming those real hardships, you know, probably set me up for being able to face the biggest challenge I was going to have, which was recovery after my shoot down.
I know your book was so candid, Senator. You say that the hardest thing for you wasn't so much the shoot down, wasn't so much the painful recovery. It's what happens to you in your dreams, what you see in your dreams that is probably the most painful for you and how it affects you and your daughters. Could you talk about that?
Well, sure. I wanted Gayle to be very upfront about everything. I've been working a lot on veterans' health care and veterans' mental health and asking veterans to please get help. And in the book, I talk about, you know, if I watch too much media on the Iraq and Afghanistan, you know, wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, I actually, as I describe it, but I hope, you know, I think I did a good job of it. I go to bed in my bed in Illinois, and I wake up in Iraq, and I live this entire full day. And I remember all of the landing zones, all the LZs. I remember all the missions. I mean, even the mundane things that you would have to do as part of the day, you know, cleaning the windshield to your helicopter. I go through that entire, you know, 18-hour day.
I was struck by what you said about your legs. This was so fascinating to me because you had the option of getting cosmetic legs, which you thought that's what I want. But in the end, that's not what you chose. Why?
Because they remind me of loss. It's just like, you know, when I would wake up from one of these dreams and the next day I would have lived a whole life. And then I have to go through the loss. I remember, oh, wait, that's not me now. This is me now. And go through that loss of my legs again. And those cosmetic legs are beautiful. And there are lots of folks who amputees who love them and wear them. But for me, they symbolize loss, not where I am today. So I prefer my metal legs, my titanium ones, because those are strength.
Senator Duckworth, I want to touch on what's going on in the country right now with Asian Americans. You've made the point in the book and in recent interviews that Asian Americans are in a unique role in American culture. On the one hand, they're not seen as minority enough to deserve protection or assistance. But on the other hand, they're also forever the other. Do you think that that dynamic may be breaking as we recognize the struggle of Asian Americans right in this moment?
Boy, I sure do hope so. You know, and that other experience is very, very real. I will tell you that I've actually been asked by fellow Americans while I was wearing my uniform with the American flag on my shoulder where I was really from. Like, wait a minute. You know, in the book I talk about this. My family has been here since before the revolution. I have ancestors who fought in the French and Indian Wars. And here's people asking me, where are you really from? And I'm literally wearing the uniform of my nation with her flag on my shoulder.
You had a moment with the Biden administration. You said you were offended by something they said to you about Kamala Harris.
Well, I was pushing for more representation at the highest levels of the Biden administration. I love Kamala. She's my girlfriend. You know, we were freshmen in the Senate together. I've spoken with her. They actually, the folks in the administration actually brought up her name and said, well, you have Kamala, you know, you don't really need any other Asians in the cabinet. And I thought, wow, that's really offensive. You wouldn't say we have a white male president. There should be any more white male members of the cabinet. Why would you say that to someone from the Asian community? So, but we worked it out, and I'm so pleased that they're putting somebody in the White House West Wing, a very senior member of the, the staff who will be AAPI, who will help us navigate these issues and bring up issues of real concern to Asian Americans, like the underreporting of violence against Asians.
Senator Tammy Duckworth, thank you so much. The book, Every Day is a Gift, goes on sale tomorrow.
And it's a good
one.
one.
We'll be right back.
It is good.
Yeah.